Hey guys, just wanted to talk about the most recent add to the portfolio, Microsoft. And this shouldn't be too long of a video because I think most people kind of have an idea of what's going on with this stock. So let's just dive into it. Obviously, I added Microsoft. Let me show you the position. So there you go. That's what the long term looks like at this time. Probably more options in it than I would like, especially for um, this type of account. So there you go. I've been talking about the IGV and names in it like Oracle and Adobe for a while. So I just decided to grab the cream of the crop of software here with Microsoft. You know, a generational moat in software, and they just kind of have a lot of things going on as far as their business. You know, they got the data center build out, and then they also have their strong, deep operational moat with software. But that's kind of why I want to talk about this because, and this is a theme going back to all these software names I'm talking about is the market is trying to have its cake and eat it too. Like either AI is threatening the business or these companies are spending too much on AI build out. You really can't have both. Either AI is going to threaten the software or the capex spend is too much. And yet, some of these names are taking both of those theses as negatives when only one can be true, right? So hopefully I explained that well enough. Just seems like people are worried about the capex spend. Is Microsoft spending too much on these data center buildouts? And at the same time, they're worried that this kind of threatens their moat. So, how exactly are you going to say both of those things at the same time? That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Anyways, you can see analysts are giving this a strong buy. Not that that means anything because analysts are pretty much always lagging. At least that's what I'm finding recently. But yeah, like I said, I've just been preaching this IGV trade for a while and decided to pick up, one of the biggest ones in there, if not the biggest one. So I really like this chart too. If I just turn on my drawings here, it gets a little messy, but a bit of a head and shoulders on the 2 hour, inverted head and shoulders. So that's a technical kind of thesis I have going on here. Back test of the neckline, and now we'll see what happens if you fail or do you get the breakout. So that's kind of where it's at. It looks like it's if there was a time to do it, it looks like it's setting up for it. You even have these two moving averages getting pretty close together, which signifies you're gonna get a move in one direction. If these cross, you're gonna dump down. But if it bounces off here, then that's gonna start looking really good. And so this is a bit of a bet on the bounce. And I think Oracle might help you out there. They just had earnings, and I wouldn't call this a huge gap up, but well, you're 8% up after the earnings here. So we'll see if that holds through the night and what we get in the morning. Obviously, you have all that drama going on with Iran, but this is a pretty insulated sector from all that. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, if you've been watching these videos, you must be getting a little bit tired of the same thoughts. I've just been saying the same thing for quite a few of these names here because they're all software related. They're all getting the same sell off, and I think it's unwarranted. So, a name like Microsoft is one that I can feel comfortable just holding for the long term. So that's kind of why I flipped that IGV gamble into a long term hold on Microsoft, and so yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, this is the portfolio. Obviously, I'm tempted to add more options. Uh, but the safer play is just to play the shares, because at the end of the day, I don't really have the cash to exercise all those Microsoft options. That's a little too rich for my blood. So shares is probably the way to go here, and you're buying, like I said, a generational moat at a pretty good, a fair price. It's not deep value by any means, but I would say it's a fair price for what you're getting, which is a high margin growth stock. Um, some people might dispute me on their prospects going forward, but uh, they've got some promising things. Maybe not as much as Google, but this is one of the largest investors in OpenAI, so keep that in mind. And obviously, the capex spend, just like all these other Mag Sevens, is kind of the root of the issue with this one. But like I said, just software in general, um, people are worried about a repricing there, and it's sort of happened to some extent. So that's pretty much the analysis here, and I'm really leaning on the technicals for this one. So if we do break down, this is all subject to change. I know I've been throwing around long term at you, but this is subject to trimming or really any sort of reposition there if circumstances change. But at this moment, I really like this retest of the neckline, and yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with the war and all that nonsense. But yeah, now I'm just rambling. So I guess that's about it, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.